biased, but I'm saying what I heard the counsel who spoke when he presented the issue. I thought they asked you that you allow them, Mr. Speaker, for them to produce the Hansard of the assembly sittings on that day. And my hearing at that particular time was that actually you had accepted. But I'm not challenging your decision where you have said the time for production of evidence is over. But if we grant them this opportunity, you will make an even more informed decision, colleagues. Because at that time, you will now be able to determine whether indeed there was a sitting on the 18th and there was a sitting on the 26th, Mr. Speaker, that eventually led to the impeachment of this governor. When we go the full process, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this is not a very easy exercise. This is a moment where I know each senator uses very different ways to arrive at a decision. But much as this motion, Mr. Speaker, proposes that we confirm, I want to ask of the House that we give justice to the people of Isiolo. Listen to their issues. Then eventually make a determination based on what you have seen, on the evidence that has been presented before you. You know, Mr. Speaker, when we eventually consider that earlier matter that I raised on the threshold for appeal that can be fatal to an impeachment hearing here in the Senate, Mr. Speaker, perhaps we can put it in law that even if we make that determination, then allow us to at least listen to some of the issues and propose solutions, even if I don't believe necessarily that the end of an impeachment process should just be about removal or staying in office of a county government. There are other administrative issues that we can address as a House. It will be possible, Mr. Speaker, to establish and understand many of these things that have been raised before involving government officials, Mr. Speaker. There are police officers that have sworn affidavits. It will be good to understand what is their reasoning. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I will be proposing to the House, even after this particular process, that let us not handle another impeachment without considering this process that we began in October of last year and making an amendment, even if it means amending our standing orders, Mr. Speaker. We need to amend our standing orders so that an impeachment process does not terminate, Mr. Speaker, at PO level. It is not a good thing. And I have said that today. I said it during the time for Kericho. I will say it in the future because that's what I believe. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I want to leave it to colleagues to reflect and consider. Today is Isiolo. Tomorrow it may be your county. When you get an opportunity to present your issues before this House, there is a way through which even citizens of your county will expect that this House treats these particular matters. Mr. Speaker, I've been in the House long enough to understand when colleagues begin to tell you that we have heard you and we know what we need to do. I believe in moving this motion, I have reached that particular point because I can hear the consultations and I can read also what the faces are saying, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, with those very many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Senator of Kilifi, the leader of minority, Senator Justice Retired Stewart Mazayo, to second me in this motion, Mr. Speaker, and lead the House in making the right decision. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Asante mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza najua tuko katika hali ya panda mbili, kwa sababu yaliyoko mbele yetu ni mazito, lakini kwa sababu hii ndio kazi mojawapo ambao maseneta ni lazima waifanye, ni jukumu langu pia mimi kuweza kuunga mkono yote aliyosema kiongozi wa walio wengi, ya kwamba iliyoko hapa ni hoja ya kumngatua gavana kutoka kwa mamlaka, lakini hivi sasa ni kuweza kukamilisha ama kuweza kujadiliana na kujua tutaendelea ama hatutaendelea na hii kesi, kwa sababu ya yale ambayo yamewekwa mbele yetu. Kitu cha kwanza ambacho mimi ningependa kufahamisha waseneta wenzangu ni jambo la kwamba mashtaka yaliyoko mbele yetu ni mashtaka yana uzito sana, ambapo yakipatikana kama ni ukweli, basi hatua ile itakayochukuliwa ni kukubaliana na kile ile preliminary objection ambayo iko hapa ama kuikataa. Kuna uzito wa aina yake. Kwa hiyo katika uamuzi wetu sisi tunatakana tufahamu, tuangalie na tupime na tuone ya kweli kuna shida ndani ya Isiolo County. Ndugu zetu wa Isiolo, ni jambo la kusikitisha hivi sasa ikiwa tunaweza kujadiliana mahali ambapo mngekuwa mlikaa nyinyi wenyewe mkaelewana, na alafu hii mambo haingefika hapa. Kwa hiyo kisu kata pande zote mbili. Sisi tutajaribu kufanya vile tutakavyofanya, ama kujadiliana, na hatimaye mwisho tutachukua hatua. Mstahiki Spika, kitu cha kwanza, kitu cha pili ambacho pia vile vile napenda kuongea ni kwa sababu kumekuwa na sintofahamu za mikutano. Mawakili waliokuwa hapa mbele yetu wameweza kusema, wengine wanasema kumekuwa na mikutano, zile documents ama yale stakabadhi zote ambazo mmetupatia hapa tuziangalie, pia vile vile zilikuwa na record zake vile vile zinasema, wengine walisema kwamba kulikuwa na mikutano, wengine wanasema hakukuwa na mikutano. Kwa hiyo tunataka kusema ya kwamba hili ni jambo ambalo tutaamua, na ni jambo gumu na litagusia mambo mengi ambayo inaweza kuona ya kwamba watu wa Isiolo wapate haki yao. Bwana Spika, nataka pia kuongezea ya kwamba wakati tukisimamisha kulinganishana na hii preliminary objection, tujue ya kwamba tutakuwa tumechukua hatua ya juu sana. Vile vile ikiwa tutaachilia, pia tutakuwa tumechukua hatua ya juu, kwa sababu mashtaka yaliyoko hapa, ile impeachment, kumngatua gavana, ni kwamba gavana hatakuwa na, tunaona vile tu ambavyo impeachment vile huwa, ama mashtaka vile huwa, ambayo gavana akingatuliwa kwenye mamlaka huwa hana mbele ama hana nyuma kwa kuenda ama kufanya chochote. Atakuwa hana haki yeye hata kushika kazi ndani ya ofisi ama kupewa kazi yoyote. Kwa hiyo ni jukumu letu sisi kuangalia, je, mashtaka haya yako na haki ya kuendelea ama hayana haki ya kuendelea, kulinganishana na zile stakabadhi ambazo tuko nazo mbele zetu. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, mimi naona huu ni mtihani mkubwa sana kwa bunge la Senate, lakini niko na imani na hili bunge la Senate, kwa sababu wote walioko hapa, wengi wetu tukiwa kama sisi ni mawakili, wengine wakiwa ni wafanyi biashara na watu waliobobea zaidi. Tuko na magavana ambao wameweza kutoka huko katika kaunti zao, wako hapa ndani pia, wataweza kutueleza katika ujuzi wao waliokuwa nao. Bwana Mstahiki Spika, mimi naona hili ni jambo ambalo sisi sote lazima tuzingatie, na mimi nikiwa nitasimama hapa nikiunga mkono kiongozi wa walio wengi kwa hoja hii, ni kwamba sote nyoyo zetu tuziweke wazi, sote tuangalie hii kesi kamilifu, na sote tuwe na uwezo wa kuamua haki ili itendeke. Na niko na imani vile wa Kenya wote ambao wako na imani na bunge la Senate, leo ni mtihani mkubwa sana kuona ya kwamba sisi tutasimamia haki, kuona ya kwamba kama ni udhaifu ambao umeletewa gavana, tunaweza kusimamisha. Kama ni udhaifu umeletewa watu wa Isiolo, tunaweza kusimamisha. Kwa hiyo sisi tunasema ya kwamba tutatenda haki kulinganishana na vile tulivyoinua katiba, na tukasema tutatendea katiba kama kiongozi wa nchi yetu. Asante Bwana Spika, naunga mkono.
Now, honorable senators, before I proceed to propose the question, just a little advice to our majority leader. I fully understand your pains. I fully understand your pains. However, going forward, if you have some misgivings because of your personal persuasion and you're called upon to move such a motion, kindly delegate. Delegate. It'll save a lot of pains because you're almost tearing. I could see you're almost tearing, and that will help you. So, honorable senators will now proceed to propose the question that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Thursday, 26 June 2025, the County Assembly of Isiolo approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, the Governor of Isiolo County. And further, whereas by a letter reference CA/RES/Volume 1/001, dated 26 June 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on 27 June 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Isiolo informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including the list of 16 out of 18 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, the Governor of Isiolo County. Noting that a preliminary issue was raised by the Governor of Isiolo County on whether the County Assembly of Isiolo held sittings on 18 June 2025 and 26 June 2025 to table, debate, pass, and all vote on the motion for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Isiolo County. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to uphold the preliminary issue raised on whether the County Assembly of Isiolo held sittings on 18 June 2025 and 26 June 2025 to table, debate, pass, or vote on the motion for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Isiolo County, and accordingly terminates the proceedings for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, the Governor of Isiolo County. Now, Honorable Senators, the floor is open for debate. Yes, certainly it cannot be a point of order, Senator Methu.
Clarification, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Then, Mr. Speaker, sir, I raised pursuant to Standing Order 111 of our own standing orders, Mr. Speaker, on limitation of debate. I need not to buttress the fact that this will be an extremely important motion, and I'm sure many colleagues would want to comment on this motion, especially on the fact of the fatality of the process if this motion was to be carried. I'm sure many colleagues would want to comment on this motion, and if each of us was to take 15 minutes, certainly it will really take us a lot of time. Number two, Mr. Speaker, also, I have seen and have had a look at the schedule that you have already given on how we shall conduct this impeachment hearing of Governor Guyo, and I think, Mr. Speaker, we are way behind the schedule that we had already given, Mr. Speaker. On dispensing the preliminary objection, Mr. Speaker, I think it was not meant to take this long. So therefore, I want to propose, if it is agreeable to colleagues here so that we can have as many colleagues comment on this matter, that debate is limited to 4 minutes so that they can be accommodative to, well, it's
Honorable Senators, allow the Senator to move his motion for limitation, and thereafter we will see if he can strike a consensus on the time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I see that many colleagues are actually proposing 3, and I am also agreeable that we agree to 3 so that many people can be able to comment, and so that we can be able to be accommodative. We can condense our thoughts and have them in 3 minutes. If this motion is not carried, then the rest of what we want to say, we can say it in the main motion if this motion is not carried. Maybe if you allow me, Mr. Speaker, I will invite my leader, Honorable Wambua, to second.
Mr. Speaker, I second the proposal to limit debate to 3 minutes.
Now, honorable senators, to save time, if we have a consensus, we need not to go through the procedural motions to prosecute this motion. It has been suggested that each senator getting to the floor to speak under 3 minutes. If that is the consensus, then we proceed. So 3 minutes it is. The Senator for Nairobi City County, Senator Edwin Sifuna. Before you speak, Senator for Nairobi City County, what is your clarification, Senator Maruma?
Maybe I would like to request that instead of all of us really debating, because this is a PO, then you can limit to maybe six from both sides, so that don't use a lot of time.
Now, honorable senators, the motion as proposed by Senator Methu has been dispensed with. We are not going to amend midway. Senator for Nairobi City County, you may proceed.
Honorable Speaker, when we come here and take oath there to uphold the law, there really is no room for sentiment. You have to do what is right by the law. It doesn't matter what personal feelings you have. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I have a problem with the way this motion was framed, because the question as to whether there was a sitting on the 26th has already been answered by the Assembly itself. The Assembly has told us that, in fact, there was no sitting on the 26th because of the circumstances. That is the truth. Secondly, the reason why I feel like this is a moot question. As a lawyer, I took an oath on the 2nd of October in 2008 to uphold the Constitution and the law. Impeachment processes are guided by the Constitution and the law. If a court of competent jurisdiction has said it doesn't matter whether there was a sitting on 26th or not, whatever happened that day is null and void. There's nothing to discuss. It is that simple. So for me, Honorable Speaker, I am very clear in my mind, there has been a tacit concession by the Assembly that in fact there was no sitting. There is a second limb that in fact there is a court decision.
Senator for Nairobi City County. That is the second motion that is yet to be moved.
I understand, Honorable Speaker, these two matters are related.
Yes,
I was speaking to the motion.
I've given a guidance that we
I was speaking to the motion. The motion is whether there was a sitting, and the question of whether it is a question to be put anyway is what I am addressing, Honorable Speaker, with due respect. I have had senior colleagues in the profession, and I have tremendous respect for all of them. It will be the darkest day, Honorable Speaker, when me, as a lawyer who's also an appointed officer of the court, the person who has been crying all over the place saying we need to respect the rule of law, and that the cornerstone of rule of law is obedience of court orders. I was one of the lawyers for Miguna. We got almost 12 court orders. They were all disobeyed by some people now who are running around telling us about court orders in this country. So, Honorable Speaker, for me, the question as to whether there was a sitting has already been answered by the Assembly themselves, and the answer can be played back. You will hear counsel admitting that in fact the circumstances on that day did not favor a sitting. They have had to go and repair and look for Hansard material because of that circumstance that he told us about. If you don't follow procedure, Honorable Speaker, it doesn't really matter. These conversations that the majority leader was inviting us to have, we have committees of this House whose work is to look into affairs of county governments. And in fact, we have done it in the county of Nyamira. So, Honorable Speaker, my position is I am not convinced that there was a sitting on the 26th of July to do this impeachment, and having that process.
Senator for Nairobi City County, just take a seat. Senator Mandago, what is your point of order?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I didn't want to interrupt the lawyer, Senator Sifuna, but I thought I heard very clearly the county assembly said there was a sitting, only that there was destruction of the evidence of the answered, Honorable Speaker. It cannot be true to say that there was no sitting.
So is that a point of information or?
I'm lost because
Senator
I didn't even know when there was
consensus. You may use that information if need be.
The beauty with our proceedings, unlike the ones in Isiolo, we are live on TV, the Hansard is here, it can be read back. He said it was not possible, the circumstances obtaining on that particular day.
Senator Morango. Now, honorable senators, once you get an opportunity to debate this motion, remember we are debating on the motion on whether those are sitting. The motion on the court orders shall come next, depending on the outcome of this particular motion. Proceed, Senator Morango.
Asante sana Mstahiki Spika kwa kunipa hii nafasi. Mstahiki Spika, hapo awali kabla sijakuwa seneta, nilikuwa mwakilishi wandi katika gatuzi za Kirinyaga. Na zaidi nilikuwa kiongozi wa wengi wakati huo. Wakati huo pia tuliweza kung'atua ngavana nikiweko. Na tukamleta hapa na akarudi. Na ni sawa. Mstahiki Spika, na bado yuko. Mstahiki Spika, kuna umuhimu wa kikao cha bunge la gatuzi kukaa katika mahali ambapo panajulikana na pamewekwa katika gazeti la serikali. Wakati huo nakumbuka vichwa vyetu vilikuwa vinatakikana. Lakini sisi zote ambao tulikuwa tunameamini na tumeamua lazima gavana aende, tulilala katika bunge la gatuzi la Kirinyaga kuhakikisha tumefanya kazi yetu. Kwa nini? Ili kufuata sheria na kanuni zilizowekwa. Kwa hivyo, Mstahiki Spika, uhitaji wetu kama seneta ni kufanya jambo ambalo lililo halali la kisheria. Mstahiki Spika, chumvi haina maana kwa mtu ambaye anakunywa chai. Vile vile sukari haina maana kwa mtu anayekunywa supu. Sisi tutakuwa tu na maana kama utakuja kufanya uamuzi ambao unakizana na sheria za nchi. Asante sana Mstahiki Spika.
Senator Maanzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute on this motion. Mr. Speaker, we are sworn to uphold the law, and every process which goes on in the county assemblies and even in this Senate and any house has to follow the law. In the case of Kenya, it has to be the Constitution of Kenya and the acts of Parliament dealing with that particular matter. Mr. Speaker, anything outside that then becomes a different scenario, and the law has to apply as it is decided. Mr. Speaker, the issue of an impeachment of a governor is a very serious matter and has very serious consequences. And therefore, the law must be followed to the letter so that the Assembly does not get involved in an exercise in futility, nor does this House get involved in an exercise in futility. The moment we make a decision, the governor can go to a court to seek further justice, or the Assembly can also go to a court to seek further justice if we never followed the process. And therefore, it is important, Mr. Speaker, we adhere to the process. Finally, it is a matter of a vote. We will vote according to our conviction, Mr. Speaker, and the decision will be carried in one way or another. So finally, it is a vote. And the law recognizes that vote, whichever it has gone, it has very serious consequences, and therefore, it has to be fair, Mr. Speaker. And the best way to make sure that the decision is fair, it is the adherence of the Constitution and the relevant statutes, and also the procedures laid in our standing orders, Mr. Speaker, so that justice is accorded to all parties involved, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I look forward to this vote, and this debate is very important. It guides the House, and the whole country is following what this House does, and the country takes the Senate very seriously as a place. While we all sit as judges and will pass judgment in one way or another, the judgment has to be fair and in accordance with the law. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion and I will be voting. I thank you.
Senator Mgatana.
Mr. Speaker, every time we come to this House, the House Business Committee must have sat down. They must have balloted the motions. they must have prepared which motions are significant or prioritized. And then an order paper is prepared, Mr. Speaker. And when that order paper is prepared and it has a motion, the notice of motion would be moved like we did today. And then once that notice is given, there will be a debate. There is no question about that. Mr. Speaker, when we say that a meeting took place, the debate took place, I expected that there would be minutes of the House Business Committee of Isiolo County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I expected that there would be evidence of notice of motion, at least, or even referring that there was notice of motion on that day. Mr. Speaker, nothing has been told, even mentioned in passing, Mr. Speaker. So let us not disregard the processes we have known, the way we have done things in these houses. It cannot be different for Isiolo. It is the same here in this house. It is the same in the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, let us not debate this matter. Let us agree there was no meeting that took place on 18th. And if there was something else, Mr. Speaker, they would have given us those audios. They would have given us the videos. And if they cannot, they didn't even talk about it, Mr. Speaker. So I'm just wondering why we are even discussing this matter. Because, Mr. Speaker, it is clear that there was no meeting, even without going to the issue of the court orders. I want also to say something, Mr. Speaker. I want to disabuse my colleagues of the idea that we are being unfair. No, we are not being unfair, or we are not denying anybody justice. Somebody here in the argument tried to move the idea that we are denying someone justice. What do you mean, Mr. Speaker? I want to say this. When we are moving petitions in this House, Mr. Speaker, petitions, one of the things that you swear to is that that matter that is in petition, understanding order number 235, if I'm not wrong, you are swearing that there's no matter pending before court. Mr. Speaker, I remember very well when our chair was Honorable Wamatinga, we went to Uyombo, where there was a nuclear plant that was being proposed to be built. And it was the petition of the Honorable, very distinguished Senator Okiya Omtata. And when we went there, Mr. Speaker, one of the things we asked the people, have you taken this matter to court? They said they have. And
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the matter before us is very weighty because the issue of there not being a sitting is not a matter that we can take lightly, Mr. Speaker. I have listened to my good friend, Majority Leader, but I want to tell him that we cannot violate the law just because we want to listen to evidence which looks weighty. We must look at what the law says. In the matter of Kericho, Mr. Speaker, we had a serious issue of 2/3 threshold. And this House decided that because of that issue of 2/3, we dispense with the matter at the PO. In this case, Mr. Speaker, there was no sitting. The Article 181 of our Constitution, Section 33 of County Government Act, and Standing Order number 65 of Isiolo County Assembly is very clear on the need to have a sitting and a motion tabled. There was no sitting, there was no tabling of any motion, and Mr. Speaker, we are sitting here and asking for video recordings, which we were not being given. Mr. Speaker, we are very considerate as a Senate. We have thrown out a number of motions, for example, Meru, because you wanted to teach the MCS what to do right. And they did the right thing, and we impeached the governor. In this case, Mr. Speaker, we need to send them back to do the right job so that when they bring here a proper impeachment motion, this House will have the obligation, exercising Article 96 of the Constitution, to send the governor away. But you cannot allow people to meet in a bar, Mr. Speaker, present a motion to us, and this House sends away
a governor who has been duly elected by the people. That will be setting a wrong precedent. And Mr. Speaker, I want to dissuade colleagues that let us deal with this PO in a very objective manner, follow the law, because we cannot continue listening to a motion that is a nullity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support this motion.
Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And Mr. Speaker, county assemblies are starting to become very fearless. They don't fear the law. They don't fear the people. They don't fear this Senate. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, remember the dilemma we have in Nyamira. They have even gone as far as cheating the control of budget to approve budgets that were not done by the actual assembly. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the people of Isiolo that we are here. We are your friends. You've set a precedent through your county assemblies. You brought a 1,570 document to prove your case. That we cannot ignore. However, you must know that the process is just as important as the reason for removing the governor. The reason for removing the governor is what you have in the 1,570-page document. But the process is in the PO. And I'm very disappointed, Mr. Speaker, by the councils of the county assembly that because you are procured at a very high cost, how could you come here and think that you would pull the mat from under our feet and get away with it? That a qualified lawyer, not one, 5 of them, can imagine that a PO would never come if they came here. You should have anticipated this PO and come with the videos and audios. The reason why you don't have is because they are not there. Mr. Speaker,
What is the point of order, Senator Fomeru?
Honorable Speaker, you know I have a lot of respect for my colleague, Boni Kalwale, Senator Boni Kalwale. But you know, Mr. Speaker, as much as we want to put our points across, the meaning, learned friends, people who have been to school, and coming to lecture professionals, that is not the right thing that we should do, Honorable Boni Kalwale. You can just give the... Why are you standing up when I'm... You see, Honorable Speaker...
Conclude on your...
You know, he is a senior senator, and he should know the ropes of this House, Mr. Speaker. Number one, I don't understand. To be very clear, Honorable Speaker, and to go on record, those 2 young men are from my county. Wakiri Mawera Mwerero.
Honorable senators, order.
I am representing them in the Senate. Wakiri Motuma is from my county. We are proud because of these senior lawyers from Meru who have done a lot to bring devolution to honor, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fomeru, what is your point of order, please? Go straight to your point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted Senator Boni Kalwale to withdraw those ones he has used on and apologize to those lawyers, Mr. Speaker, because if we go that way, then, Mr. Speaker, we are degenerating to very funny things. Let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, one thing. If you discuss anything to do with the doctors, Boni Kalwale, you know I chair this house. When somebody discusses doctors in this house, you usually get even your shoes out to draw to members. Now respect the other professionals. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Including farmer, Senator Medu, potato farmer.
Now, order, honorable senators. Order, honorable senators. Now, Senator Boni of Kakamega County. The competence or otherwise of council is not a matter of debate before this House. kindly proceed to withdraw and apologize to counsel seated there. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a competent professional.
Order, order, honorable senators. Order, allow the honorable senator to proceed. Proceed to withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, as a competent professional, I see no shame, I feel no shame in withdrawing. Mr. Speaker, going forward, I would like to remind the House that the decisions we make today, I have withdrawn. What more do you want me to do?
Order, order, honorable senators. There is only one chair chairing these proceedings. Any member, now honorable senators, order, honorable senators. Senator Chimera, Senator Chimera, I'm giving you the caution of the day. You proceed, I throw you out. Conclude. Conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you held my time when the other discourse was
Absolutely. You have 1 minute to conclude.
1 minute?
Yes, that is the time we held.
Mr. Speaker, I'll therefore want to strongly support that this motion sails so that the MCS can go and put their act together. We want to sit on an impeachment process.
Honorable Senator, for the record, you were to withdraw and apologize, then proceed to conclude your submissions. You've done only one limb. You have withdrawn. Kindly complete by apologizing, then conclude on your submissions.
Mr. Speaker, as I apologize, I conclude. Mr. Speaker, I conclude. Again, my 1 minute was taken away, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I conclude by requesting MCAs across the Republic to respect the process of removing governors just as they find it important to have reason to remove them. Law is not like medicine. Medicine is only in medicine where...
Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I see excitement. I don't know why there's excitement. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to say only two things. One, Mr. Speaker, is to try and give comfort to the majority leader, Senator Cheruiyot, that he shouldn't worry so much about what happened in the Kericho case. The Senate is still here. He should go and tell the MCRs in Kericho to meet the threshold and bring the case here. We are here. We are not going anywhere, Mr. Speaker. Second, Mr. Speaker, when you took me for training the other day, Mr. Speaker, and the trainer kept saying, Mr. Speaker,
Order, honorable senators. Order, Senator Funandi. Order, Senator Funandi.
Mr. Speaker, and the trainer kept saying that as leaders, the process is as important as the outcome. I did not know that I was being prepared for such a time as this. Mr. Speaker, when I reflect back in 1995, in the O.J. Simpson case, where everybody in the courtroom believed that O.J. Simpson was guilty of murder. And evidence adduced by counsel of a glove that they said was used in the murder. And O.J. Simpson was told to try the glove. And it did not fit. And the counsel moved the court and said,
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. It doesn't matter, Mr. Speaker, what the governor of Isiolo has done, and I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, he has appeared before me once in the CPAC. And I have serious issues with the way that county government is being run. Serious issues. But Mr. Speaker, those issues aside, the process must bear us out. We are here debating the process by which the governor was brought here. We cannot be the people, Mr. Speaker, that circumvent the same process to fast-track the hearing. Let the MCAs from Isiolo get the process right. The Senate is here.
Senator Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to submit, just like my colleagues have submitted, that the process of anything is as important as the result, Mr. Speaker, because justice must be served to all parties. In this particular case, Mr. Speaker, we have the county assembly on one side and the governor of Isiolo County on the other side, Mr. Speaker. And much as each side wants justice delivered, but process and procedure must be followed. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader here has argued that we should go ahead to listen to this particular motion in order for us to be able to afford and accord the people of Isiolo an opportunity to correct the decision that they made in 2022. But Mr. Speaker, this does not relate only to the county, to Isiolo County government. Anytime we impeach a governor, Mr. Speaker, the deputy governor takes over. So then, what assurance do we have if we say that we want to throw out the county governor to correct a mistake made in 2022? What guarantees are there that the deputy governor then becomes the desirable person to of course, run that particular county, Mr. Speaker? And also in that, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell the majority leader that some of us may also want to correct a mistake we made in 2022 of electing the sitting president, but we have to follow the procedure. And so we cannot, Mr. Speaker, stand here and say that just because, Mr. Speaker, can I be heard in silence, Mr. Speaker?
What is your point of order, Senator Mundigi?
Please freeze my time.
Order.
Senator Nyotu havai kuongea mambo ya jina ya rais wa Kenya, wakati hapa tunaongea mambo ya devolution, wakati hapa tunaongea mambo ya kuokoa governor ama kuokoa MC. Kwa hivyo amekosea kutanja jina ya rais wa Kenya katika kwa hii kikao.
Order, honorable senators, order. Order. I think what Senator Newton has said is if you need to remove our president, you need to use the constitutional means, which is a fact. Conclude. Conclude.
So thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you also for educating Senator Mundigi, and to also tell him to be a better listener than a better talker, Mr. Speaker. So what I was saying is that we cannot forget about procedure and process just because we want any public officer out of office. That we must follow procedure, and just like we are waiting, that's what I was saying, to remove President Ruto in 2027 by a way of vote, the people of Isiolo will have to wait.
Order, honorable senator. Senator Newton, just take your seat. Senator Newton, I've given you latitude. Don't abuse it. As you make your comments, leave alone the name of the president. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm advised. So what we are saying, I'm just joining my colleagues in saying that the County Assembly of Isiolo must put its act together, and that the County Assembly must not be motivated by the need to remove the county governor and thereby forget about the procedure and the process. Mr. Speaker, no sittings were held on the 18th of June and the 26th of June because there is no evidence whatsoever, audio or even written anywhere, Mr. Speaker. I believe that the images that we saw there, Mr. Speaker, cannot be proof enough that even audio recordings were destroyed just because maybe there were those incidents that the councils for the county assembly were able to show through that video, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, let the county assembly bring a better motion where they'll have sat.
Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii. Nafikiri swala ambalo tunatakana kuamua ni je, tuendelee na hii kesi mpaka mwisho ama tuimalizie hapa ilipofika. Na nafikiri sisi kama Senate, japokuwa tumekaa kama mahakama, lakini sio mahakama kulingana na ile undani kabisa. Kwa hivyo sisi hatuwezi kufungwa mikono kwa sababu ya masuala ya kiprosija ama kimwelekeo. Kama Senate tuna jukumu la kuhakikisha kwamba sheria ama haki inapatikana. Je, haki ile itapatikana kwa watu wa Isiolo na watu wengine wote wakati tutakapomaliza hii kesi katika preliminary stage, ama itapatikana wakati itakaposikizwa mpaka mwisho? Tumeona kwamba hata kama itakuwa Senate imefanya makosa katika kumbandua mamlakani governor ana nafasi ya kwenda mahakama ya High Court, kenda mahakama ya rufaa, mpaka mahakama ya upeo zaidi katika nchi yetu. Kwa hivyo hapa kwa sasa hatuamui tuampeleka nyumbani tuambandua governor ama hatumbandui. Hapa tunachoamua ni kwamba je, tusikize ushahidi wote kamili ili tuweze kupata taswira kamili ya yale ambayo yalitokea kule Isiolo. Kama ushahidi ambao utasikizwa hautaweza kufikia kile kiwango kinachohitajika na sheria, basi itakuwa hatuna budi kumwachilia. Lakini kwa sasa itakuwa ni kinyume na vile vile pia ni dhulma kwa watu wa Isiolo iwapo tutaweza kumaliza kesi hii katika hii mahali ambapo imefikia katika hatua ya mwanzo kabisa kulingana na sheria. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi napinga hii hoja ya kupitishwa kwa hii primary objection. Nasema kwamba wacha kesi iendelee mpaka mwisho, kwa sababu hakuna chochote ambacho tutapunguza ama tutaongeza tukiendelea mpaka mwisho. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Ali Roba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. First and foremost, and albeit the fact that the times given is very short, the issue before us that is to be determined as a Senate is the impeachment of the governor. And that justice can only be arrived at if we look at the substance of the case to logical conclusion prior to killing the case before it even starts. The saddest point, Mr. Speaker, is that even listening this case, whether the governor is impeached or he is not impeached, Isiolo County is at a very desperate situation. The situation in Isiolo County, whether the governor is impeached or not impeached, is not going to improve because of the lawlessness that has prevailed in that Isiolo County. Mr. Speaker, I see no harm for the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, just like any other court, despite the fact that preliminary objections will be raised, for the Senate to listen to the substance of the case and make a determination after all the evidence has been heard and processed. Because what we are trying to do is to kill the case before it has even started. Yet the same issues would be able to be brought forth in the substance of the case in terms of trying to debate and get. This is not about whether the governor can be impeached or not impeached. but is whether the Senate can listen to the case, exhaustively to be able to determine from a very informed point of view that this case has been substantiated or not substantiated on the basis of the evidence that will be presented before us. And the issues that has been shared will come out to light with even more evidence. It could even give, a very decisive position for us to be able to make two serious references within the evidence that are produced by the county assembly or the council for the governor, for that matter. I oppose this motion and seek to convince my colleagues that we are better off determining this case after having listened to the substance of the case exhaustively to its logical conclusion. Mr. Speaker, sir, I oppose.
Senator Omtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for the opportunity. Allow me to read a verse, a section of this book, A Man for All Seasons. It says, Roper says, so now you would give the devil the benefit of law. More replies, yes. What would you do? Cut a great road through the law to get after the devil? Roper replies, I would cut down every law in England to do that. More replies, oh, and when the last law was down and the devil turned round on you, where would you hide, Roper? The laws all being flat. This country is planted thick with laws from coast to coast. Man's laws, not God's. And if you cut them down and you are just the man to do that, do you really think you could stand upright in the winds that would blow? Yes, I would give the devil benefit of law for my own safety's sake. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, those words that were uttered, that were written in 1960 in the play A Man for All Seasons, underscore my position that we must uphold the rule of law in this country. Article 3, Clause 1 of the Constitution calls upon us to do just that, and having listened to the motions here, from the way the matter was conducted, clearly we had two motions before this House, with an application for dismissal based on the fact that there was no hearing, and there was a preliminary objection based on the fact that there was a court order. So, disposing of that motion, when you allowed evidence to be adduced to move into a motion, I would say that having listened to what was presented, there was no sitting of the assembly that meets the threshold in law. The assembly has got a designated place where it sits. The assembly has got clear procedures to be followed. And unfortunately, the evidence before us is such that that sitting did not take place. Number two, we were told that we could ignore the court orders. I would like to persuade the Land Council, who are saying that the High Court had no business to intervene, to look at Article 165 of the Constitution.
Senator from
Busia
County.
Yes.
Just restrict your submissions to the motion on the sittings.
Yeah, so
when we come to the second motion, you will make these comments.
Okay. So I'm fully persuaded that there was no sitting that that gives us jurisdiction to sit.
Senator Karen Nyamu.
Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, this is a joke and a dangerous one, Mr. Speaker. Where does the team of the County Assembly of Isiolo get the audacity to walk into this Senate without a shred of evidence that a sitting of a county assembly ever took place? Mr. Speaker, this is not a WhatsApp group. This is a constitutional institution. Where is the Hansard? Where is the attendance record? And I want to be very clear. There was no sitting, and therefore there was no impeachment, Mr. Speaker. And with those very few remarks, I support.
Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Mr. Speaker, the jurisprudential contours of impeachment are embedded both in procedure and in substance, and now well settled, Mr. Speaker, in the case of Martin Nyaga-Wambora and County Assembly of Embu. I took part in the case. The case of Mohammed Ali Mahmoud and County Assembly Wajir, Mr. Speaker, again I took part in the case and we got the governor back to office because there was a court order. And lastly, Kawera Mwangaza and the County Assembly of Meru, and the recent case, Mr. Speaker, of Onyango Olo versus County Assembly of Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, the question as to whether there was a sitting is answered by the documents filed before the Senate. The affidavit of Salad Boru Guracha speaks to whether or not there was a sitting, and it is emphatic, Mr. Speaker, that there was no sitting. The second affidavit that we have, Mr. Speaker, on record is by Habiba Galgalo Jirma, who is the Chief Finance Officer and who also confirms that there was no sitting. The third affidavit is by the Honorable Abinur D. Mujilo, who is an elected member of Kina Ward and who confirms that there was no sitting. The next affidavit is by Honorable Diba Brishad Ali, who is the duly elected County Assembly of Isiolo member for Garbatula Ward, who also confirms that there was no sitting. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, and this is important, Shaban Zungu, whose affidavit appears at page 46, confirms that on the 18th the assembly was locked. On the 26th, the members were able to get in the assembly for 10 minutes and walk out. And that is where the substantive question as to whether there were proper recordings. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, this afternoon, I thought that counsel for the county assembly would have responded to the technical issues raised as to whether or not there was a sitting through the law. But unfortunately, Council Mawera fell into the tricks of his submissions by playing two videos that did not have voice recordings and that went, Mr. Speaker, to admitting that there were no proceedings at the assembly. It's very, very unfortunate that this case has to die. Mr. Speaker, I was prepared to proceed to the substance of the hearing.
Senator Seki.
Honorable Speaker, I also wish to support this motion by saying that the County Assembly of Isiolo have not demonstrated to this House that there was a sitting in the County Assembly of Isiolo. Honorable Speaker, some years back, I used to work as a clerk in the county councils by then, before devolution. And the county councils, municipalities, councillors respect also the law, and they used to work or even to deliberate in the chamber. The reason why we have the chamber is there is a reason as to why we have the chamber. It is very difficult and it will not be proper for the county assembly to come to this house with an allegation that they had a meeting, the assembly sat, there is no video, no audio to this house, and they believe that we'll agree to them. Honorable Speaker, this is not right. However, we may have so many things against the county assembly or the executive of Isiolo through the governor. after looking at the documentation they've presented, or even before, Honorable Speaker, but the procedure and the law must be upheld. Honorable Speaker, I support this motion by saying that we are
Senator
not going to give it.
Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine, Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the motion, albeit reluctantly for this reason. This PO had 2 counts. One is clear in my view, and the other one, the one we are discussing currently, unfortunately, we did not get the instance to interrogate all the evidence. But, Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to affirm that at a time when the rule of law seems to be a problem in Kenya, we must be that house that must stand for the rule of law. The rule of law applies to the county assembly as it does to the county executive as it does to the Senate. Procedures are important, and it is important that county assemblies, not just of Isiolo but elsewhere, follow the rules and the standing orders that they that they have put in place to ensure that everything they bring and represent for their people are actually able to be executed in accordance with the procedures. I feel that the first count might have been prosecuted better through interrogation of evidence, but unfortunately, the lawyers for the county assemblies have made no attempt to actually respond to the issue as to whether there was a sitting or not. They simply say there was a sitting, but the little evidence there is shows that there was no sitting. So they have actually not properly assisted in making this decision. But in my view, the real PO is the second motion that we will go to. Mr. Speaker, as a Senate, I think we also need to address ourselves to our own procedures around the PO. We had the issue of the PO in the Kericho matter. We had the issue of a PO in the Kawera matter, the last one. But we ignored it as a Senate. So we need now to determine whether we will work on matters PO selectively or whether we should have rules. And as we have those rules, Mr. Speaker, I would want to state that matters procedures are matters that involve every senator in this House. So we should all be involved in terms of voting on matters relating that are preliminary, because that is about procedures. So to the extent that the county...
Senator Karungo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I rise to contribute to this motion, I beg to start with a question. What defines an assembly sitting? It is the Speaker, the mace, the quorum, the notice, the gazette, the appendix, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think going forward, because even the Hansard is part of it, the voting list is part of it, as we go forward, I think this Senate should come up with a resolution that for any other impeachment to go on, the county assemblies should provide video evidence of whether that vote was taken, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, why am I saying that? A few years ago, I was seated at the gallery where I see the good people of Isiolo seated when the governor of Kiambu then was being, was brought in this house, Mr. Speaker. At that particular time, I knew there were no numbers to remove him from office, but I was over there, Mr. Speaker. And the Senate voted the way it voted, Mr. Speaker. And I swore I want to come to this Senate so that I can do the right thing. Because the strength of justice, Mr. Speaker, is not seen on how we treat innocent people. It's how you handle the guilty one, Mr. Speaker. So we have to follow the processes so that we make sure that even those that are brought here, they go through due process, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this begs the question, if we were to allow the full hearing, that means we will listen to whether the county assembly sat then, we'll have the witnesses, they will be cross-examined, and then instead of voting on that particular issue, we'll be told, wait, let's now go to ground 1, let's go to ground 2, and let's go to ground 3. What if after we go all through these grounds, we realize they never sat? So why are we taking the governor through the grounds, yet probably the county assembly never sat, Mr. Speaker? So I think we should also come up with a proper procedure as a Senate, that before we even think of listening to the grounds, we are certain whether for sure the county is sat.